Welcome to the Talking Book Voices, the podcast. Get ready to embark on the adventure with us as we dive into and celebrate the magic of the Texas Talking Book Program. Let's raise our voices together and make the world of literature accessible for all. The Texas Talking Book Program is a division of the State Library and Archives Commission and serves as a regional library for the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, a division of the Library of Congress. The Talking Book Program provides specialized library services to individuals who have a qualifying visual, physical, or reading disability, such as dyslexia. In each episode of the Talking Book Voices, we'll delve into the heart of the program, uncovering its history, sharing inspiring stories, and exploring the vast collection of materials it has to offer. We'll bring you the latest updates, interviews with program experts and patrons, and useful tips to make the most of this invaluable program for Texans and beyond. So whether you're an avid reader, someone who with a print disability seeking accessible materials, or just curious to learn about this great program, this podcast is made for you. Don't forget to visit us at www.texastalkingbooks.org for more information. So let's begin the Texas Talking Book Voices, a podcast by the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. Hi, my name is Jaclyn Owusu, and I am the Public Awareness Coordinator for the Talking Book Program. And joining me today is our director, new-ish director, Ann Minner.
Hi. I've been here just almost a year, I think 11 months yesterday. I think that's right. And I'm really excited to be here, and I'm excited that we've got a podcast up and running.
I'm very excited as well. And I'm not just saying that I'm excited to have you here because you're my boss, but you also are my boss and you're looking directly at me. So I'm so glad you're here. So Ann, can you tell me a little bit about the Talking Book Program?
Sure. The Talking Book Program is a division of the Texas State Library and Archives Commission and has been a regional library for the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled since 1931. NLS is a division of the Library of Congress. The Talking Book Program provides a free library service for Texans of any age who have a qualifying visual, physical, or reading disability, like dyslexia. We give them access to reading materials in digital audio, braille, and large print formats, whether the need is a temporary one or a lifelong need. And we are the Texans' other library.
Nice. So let's say I can start the program in, say, like middle school, and then I can stay part of the program into adulthood?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So I know when I go out and do outreach, there's a common misconception that people say that the program is just for the blind. But from what you mentioned earlier, just a second ago, that's only partially true. So I think some people think that blindness is kind of binary. You're either sighted or you're completely blind. And the truth in that lies where it's just kind of, there's infinite ways where people have print disabilities. So can you elaborate on what qualifies people for the program?
Sure. An individual who is blind, they qualify for the program. An individual who has a visual disability that makes them unable to comfortably read standard print books. This includes macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. Basically, folks who need a magnifying glass to read, for example, can be part of our program. Also, a person who has a physical disability that makes it hard to hold or manipulate a book or to focus or move their eyes as needed to read a print book. This could be someone who's had a stroke, who has Parkinson's or a traumatic brain injury, or is even someone who has broken their arm recently and can't lift up their book. Also, individuals who have perceptual or reading disabilities like dyslexia, they are also eligible to be part of our program.
Nice. So that's a really broad, in a sense, when it comes to the eligibility requirements. I read NLS came out with some numbers for us, and I recently read that the population in the Texas is about 30 million, and they estimate they use a factor of 1.4%. That means that around 450,000 Texans could qualify for our program.
Yes, that's right.
All right. So, Ann, can you tell me some relevant elements of the Talking Book Program?
Of course. One is our program is free. Patrons may borrow books and magazines in digital audio for 60 days and braille and large print for 45 days. Materials and playback machines are mailed to our patrons' door completely free of charge through the USPS, and priority service is offered to our veterans who have been honorably discharged.
Oh, that's great that you give priority service to veterans. So you also mentioned something about equipment. Is there equipment needed, or does it come with the program?
Playback equipment includes a digital talking book machine, or we call it a DTBM. The machine is essentially a computer that has no moving parts. It uses high-capacity flash media, so books come on cartridges, and the machine stays with patrons as long as they are a part of the program. However, if they prefer to just use the mobile app, which I'll talk about in a moment, you don't have to keep the machine. It just depends on preference. We also provide a refreshable Braille display called the Zumax Braille e-reader for individuals who read Braille.
I get so giddy talking about the Talking Book program. So how do you get the books and magazines?
Well, books and magazines are placed on cartridges that are mailed directly to a patron's home, and each cartridge can have one book or multiple books on it. With our system called Duplication on Demand, patrons can even have a series on one cartridge, and they have 60 days to listen to them with the option to renew. So a total of 120 days, 45 or 90 days for Braille hard copy books and large print. Patrons of our program can also use BARD.
So you mentioned BARD earlier. So what is BARD?
BARD stands for Braille and Audio Reading Download. BARD allows you to download books onto a flash drive or cartridge and then play with your machine. With BARD, there is no wait time, no limit to how many you can download, no due dates, no pesky overdue notices. You sign in, browse, download, and go. Patrons of our program have access to thousands of titles 24/7, with new titles added regularly.
BARD sounds kind of great. But I understand that there's an app that you can use on either your smartphone or your tablet that transforms your phone into a personal and portable library called BARD Mobile. And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, in the app, to keep a consistent feel, the controls on the app are like the digital talking book machine player. The fastest way to get books is using BARD or BARD Mobile, and the BARD Mobile app is really easy to use. With BARD, there are more than 160,000 titles, 60 plus digital magazines, 53 e-Braille magazines, new materials added daily, read by professional narrators, of course. Collection is about 65% fiction, 35% nonfiction, and we have bestsellers, biographies, and how-to books. But we don't have textbooks. The collection includes titles for all ages, including literary classics, fairy tales, poetry, mystery, sports, science fiction, and biographies, just about everything you can think of. In magazines, we have National Geographic Kids, 17, Sports Illustrated for Kids, Spider, Conundrum, and the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled also provide large print and Braille music scores. And we also work with the Texas Center for the Book for our patrons to be able to participate in the Texas Great Read and Read Across Texas.
Nice. I like the collaboration. So let's say I qualify under a visual disability. What should I do?
Well, signing up is really easy to do. The application is 2 pages, and on the application, we just need basic contact information like your name, your address, email, phone number. We need the signature of the applicant, and then check the type of disability you have, and you need a signature from a certifying authority. That's just a professional who can verify the disability. Applications are available in English and Spanish. We do not need insurance or medical information, just the application. And you can find applications at www.texastalkingbooks.org under How to Apply.
Nice. Okay. So you mentioned a certifying authority on the application. Can you elaborate just a little bit of what that means?
Yeah, a certifying authority is just a non-family member who can verify there's a qualifying disability. That can be a doctor, social worker, O&M specialist, nurse, activity director, clergy, teacher, librarian, a non-family member verifying the qualifying disability.
Perfect. Noted. So I cannot sign up directly for my dad, but I can go to, I don't know, one of my mom's teachers and have them sign the application for him.
Right. Or go to the public library and have them sign the application as well.
Oh, lovely. Love that. So I have the application filled out and I can send it by mail, email, fax, right? But then what happens after the application is received?
Once we receive the application, someone from our Reader Services call center will call you and go through the whole process in detail. Reader Services is the main point of contact. TBP staff operates a call center offering direct contact with TBP patrons via a toll-free telephone number, making ordering books and getting answers to questions easy and efficient. Reader consultants and librarians offer patrons help ranging from setting up and maintaining accounts, help choosing books, or even venturing out to new reading interests. They consult on your playback machine and Bard assistance, and they can fine-tune book selections and ensure books are satisfactory for you.
Very cool. So you mentioned earlier too that the collection consists of about 65% fiction and about 35% nonfiction. So how are you able to select the books?
Well, there are a couple of ways for people to select what they want. Books can be selected by the patron. They can send a letter or email with the books they'd like to have on their request list, or they can sign into the OPAC, that stands for the Online Patron Access Catalog. That allows patrons to search the collection, request books, and see due dates. Books can also be automatically selected. Let's say you like Westerns. Books in that category will be selected for you to read. It also works for a specific author. Or if you have no idea what books you might like, you can contact one of our Reader Services librarians and they can help find the right books.
Very cool. So reader services seems like they're pretty busy. So are there any other parts that are in TBP that you can tell me about?
Yes, we've got lots of folks. In addition to Reader Services, we have a circulation and machine lending, and the circulation staff manages between 8,000 and 10,000 items, both incoming and outgoing books, machines, and magazines on an average weekday. And our machine lending service staff maintains and loans the playback equipment. So if you have a machine and it breaks, you send it back. We'll send you another one while we fix that one. Our collections department supplements the national collection with a large print collection, and collections librarians research, select and acquire books for their studio volunteers to record. And the recording studio, which is where we're sitting right now, has over 40 active volunteers recording books every month in the studio. The studio records about 30 books a year that are of regional interest, including some in Spanish that are of regional interest. And volunteers also record Texas-centered magazines like Texas Monthly, Texas Highways, Texas Parks and Wildlife. We also have digital literacy training and outreach services. So if you would like to have someone provide training for you or give a presentation or do an exhibit, you can give us a call. And we also have the DIRC. That stands for Disability and Information Referral Center. Now, this is important. You do not have to be a patron of TBP to use the DIRC. Anyone in Texas who needs disability and or health-related information can contact the DIRC. Ask the librarian any question you have about accessibility, grants, loans, or what local support groups are in your area.
The DIRC really is a great tool that provides information about disabilities or disability-related resources and services. But I'm not to brag, but I always like to do. My coworkers are really, really an excellent group. So, Anne, I saw this quote and I like to share it. It's from the ARC. It says, "The disability community is the only minority group that anyone can join at any time." And that hits such a poignant point. And I'm so glad we're helping get the word out about the Talking Book program. So what's next? What do you want people to do with this information?
Well, everybody knows somebody, young or old, that could and would benefit from our program. One of our patrons wrote me when I started and said, "These books have been an anchor to my sanity." If you or someone you know misses the joy of reading, have them contact us at the Talking Book program. We can hook them up.
Nice. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to add?
I've only been here just about a year, but I am so proud of this program and the work that happens here, and I really think that more Texans need to know about it. And if anybody's listening outside of Texas, there's a whole national resource for the regional libraries. If you're looking for the same sort of program in your state, give us a call. We'll help you find it because we can hook you up with them too.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And you can find and visit the Talking Book program online at texastalkingbooks.org, or you can give us a call toll free at 1-800-252-9605, or you can send us an email to tbp.services@tsl.texas.gov, or you can visit us on our blog that we also have. You can get through from texastalkingbooks.org. And join me next time as we dive into the Talking Book Program Disability Information Referral Center. And I want to thank you, Anne, for joining me on this inaugural episode. And I want to thank all of you who are listening. Thank you for joining. And Anne, do you have anything else?
Well, I think everybody should listen to this podcast as often as it comes out because we've got so much great information. And for even more information about the Texas State Library and the Archives Commission, which is also pretty great, you should visit www.tsl.texas.gov.
Awesome. And say bye.
Bye.
Bye.